Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about generators. Now generator is again a type of or it's a way of generating our own iterator. Now as we discussed in the case of iterators that in the case of iterator it can be applied only on a iterable object. But suppose we do not have that or we want to create a iterable object itself or we want to get a particular value. So if you want to do a custom iterator, that's when we call it as a generator. Now let's use the generator. Now let's see how it works. So generators are again a way of creating iterators. So let's see how we can do it. Let's say a simple example. Now suppose, okay, let's first create a simple generator. So def generator sample, and this one we have a, now here we have a new parameter which we call it as a yield. Which we call it as a yield. Now you can see it got change in color because it's predefined and it's used to provide a value over here. So it's a generator sample. Now suppose if I say yield as 10, then again I'll provide this as yield as 20. Then I again provide a value as yield as 30. Okay. Now this is my generator function I've created. Now let's use it. Now, how I can do this one or how we can use it? Again, I use the functions or operations similar to that iterator itself, which is the next. So I'll be using a next operator over here as well. So let's use it. So if I go with gen is equal to generator sample, let's run it. So I've saved the argument or saved the function into this gen variable. Now let's apply the next onto this gen. If I run this now, I get 10. If I rerun it, I get 20. If I rerun it, I'll get 30 now. Now if I rerun it, I'll get error because that have exhausted, that have ended now. Now that is what or that is how you can create your own iterator or a custom iterator. Now let's see one more example which will give you better understanding. Now suppose we all must be knowing about Fibonacci series. Now Fibonacci series, what is Fibonacci series? So Fibonacci series refers to, let's say it to be, so this is what we refer to as Fibonacci series, like 0, comma 1, comma 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 5, comma 8. Now what is happening over here? We are starting with 0, then 1. So these are two fixed numbers in Fibonacci series. But after that, what is happening? 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is, so we are just adding two numbers. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. So that is what we refer to as Fibonacci series. Now let's see how we can attain this thing using the generators. Let's create a generator function for this to perform the same operation over here. Now let's see it with example. So let's say I'm creating a function as Fibonacci generator. So it's going to generate me Fibonacci sequence itself. Okay. So let's go with that. Now, what argument we're going to write? So obviously we know that the initial values are going to be 0 and 1. That's the fixed thing. That 0 and 1 are going to be there for sure. Now, let's put a while statement, while true. So what we are saying is, for each value change or for each next iteration, it have to show the next value. So it will be stopping at A because it is it's not completed yet. So it's starting with 0, then 1, and so on. And for that, we need to create a logic over here. We're not going to do it manually, or we'll not be writing it manually. So what we are going to do is, again, A comma B is equal to B comma A plus B. So that is the simple logic we have applied, that with the help of next, it will just keep on generating the next Fibonacci sequence. Now let's test it out. Now what we have done over here is, let's call this function first. Fibonacci S. Let's just copy this. Fibonacci generator. So we are just passing this over here. Let's run it. Now that one, like, either we can call it like this, that next and the fib. If you run it, you'll get 0, 1, 1, 3, 2, 3, 5, 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 8, 21. So this way it will just keep on generating that particular Fibonacci sequence. And if you want to pass it using a for loop, that will also work, because you cannot do it manually, obviously. So what you can simply do is, you can pass it into a for loop in, or let's say it will not be like this. It could be like range, how many times you want to iterate this loop. So I want to see further next 10 iterators, or next 10 values. So let's pass it through print, because it will then be ending. Print statement. Let's run it. Now you can see after 21, it gave you the next set of Fibonacci sequence, which is 34, 55, 89, 144, 233, and so on. So it is getting, keep on iterating. And if you just increase that, if you rerun it, it will give you even higher numbers of sequence. So that is how you are generating the Fibonacci sequence, or that is how you can create your own generator, which will act as an iterator finally. That is what we have as the generator. That is all for today. Thank you.